yeah, here we go again. Hello and welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. In this podcast, we talk all things sports from my own opinion. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride.
Hey, once again, welcome into Ray on Sports. This is Johnny Ray from Ray on Sports. It's been a while, but I'm back. And I'm back on the mic. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support that you have given me on this podcast. I know I haven't been here for a while, and I know it's been, been a little bit of time since I've been here, but I'm back. Took a Maybe I took a summer break, but I don't think I did, but maybe I did. So I'm back, and we're talking NFL season coming up. NFL coming up now. And with that being said, let's get right into it. New season starting, new places, new faces, new teams, all that kind of good stuff going on. And when I've seen some of the preseason, I've watched a little bit of preseason, not too much, watch my team, San Francisco 49ers. Bang, bang, Niner gang. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we'll see what happens. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this sound. The sounds kind of crazy, but I guess we'll be okay. Okay, there we go. Here we go. There we go. So yeah. So let's just go through the 32 teams. I'm looking on ESPN.com, the NFL preview, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Also, I'm going to give a little insight on college football, but not too much because I haven't really dove into it. Because my plate's been full, y'all. My plate's been full during the summer, and I've been trying to take time to record my podcast. And my wife been getting on me and said, "You need to do it. You need to do it." And I said, "I don't have time." She said, "Yeah, you need to make time to do it." So I'm making my time. So now let's just get right into it. Baltimore Ravens, first team. They have a 78.6 chance to make the playoffs. Chances to win the division is 52.6. They're projecting to win 10 games. They have the ninth hardest strength of schedule coming up in the season. Last year they went 12-5. Their biggest strength is two-time MVP Lamar Jackson's. He was dangerous with his arm last year. He led the league in passes per attempt at 8.8 and yards per carry at 6.6 for a quarterback. So we'll see how that turns out. Jackson has been sidelined over the past 6 years, but with him as quarterback, they have a 70-24 record, which is a 7.74%, 74% winning percentage with him as quarterback. With him as not a quarterback, they're like at 0.30%, which is like a 49 record. So we'll see how that goes. We already know who the QBs. Lamar's their QB starting off. Last season he had his full season he has over 41 touchdowns and 4,000 passing yards. He's the first quarterback since Peyton Manning to be named the first team All-Pro in 3 straight seasons. So the prediction right now is their running back Keaton Mitchell, who has at least 4 games with 20 plus this is fantasy points. I don't even know do fantasy. But I'm saying that their key right now is going to be the running back position. We'll see how that goes. But for Lamar, does Lamar have anything else to prove? Yes. I think what he has to prove is that he can make it to the big game. They've been close every year. They've been close. They've been right there, but they haven't made it to the big game. So this year is the year they can try and understand what it takes to make it to the big game. Can he make it? Yeah. Can they do it? Could be. They're in the AFC, so the big dog in the AFC is always Kansas City Chiefs. Can you get through the Chiefs? If you can get through the Chiefs, you can get to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs hold the key to the Super Bowl for the AFC because no matter what they do, just like last year, they were not that good last year, but they seem to make it to the Super Bowl again. And what that comes from is just knowing how to win in big games. They squeaked by a couple of good games last year. A couple of games they should have lost, they won. But when they got to the playoffs, they knew what it took to turn it on. And a lot of teams don't have those players on their team that know when to turn it on at that present moment, when that game is on the line, when you need that final score, that final touchdown, that winning run, that winning basket, what the case may be, whatever sport it may be, that winning puck shot. So for the Chiefs, that's that's their thing, is that every year they find a way to win. So for the Ravens to do anything this year, they have to get past the Chiefs, and Lamar has to prove that he is that dude. Number two, I think they're ranking them by. Are they ranking them by their predictions? No, I don't think they are. Yeah, I guess they are. So they're ranking the Ravens over the Chiefs. So number two is the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl winners last year. Um, they have a 76.1% chance to make a playoff. They have 56% chance to win a division. They projected to win 10 games. They won 14-3 last year. They have the fourth hardest schedule in the league this year. Their biggest strength this year will be Saquon Barkley, of course, as last year. That was the key that they needed to get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl. And it's funny how, speaking on that, it's so funny how one player can change your whole trajectory of your season. Saquon was that missing piece that the Philadelphia Eagles needed. Because I don't care what nobody says, when you have a football team like that, you got to have great quarterbacks play, got to have a great running game, and you got to have receivers that can catch the ball. And they also got to have an outstanding defense as well, because but we have seen teams in the past that have won on defense only. That didn't have great quarterback play, but they had great defense, and the defense took out and won the game for them. So we have seen that done. But I'm saying that in this league, you got to have all three, all four. I'm sorry, or four facets of the game. You got to have great quarterback play. You got to have a decent run game, and what a decent run game does is it brings those linemen up, it brings those safeties up, and it gives your receivers on the outside one-on-one coverage at all times. So defense can't play zone so much, because if you play too much zone, then I can hit you with the run game. I hit you with the running back coming out the flat. But if you don't have a good running back, that changes the whole trajectory of your game. And you can notice that some teams that don't have good running backs or good run um, playmakers, they tend to struggle, because either it falls on the quarterback, or it falls it well 90% of the time it falls on the quarterback, because now his arm has to fit that ball into different windows, and he's got to get the ball down the field because he don't have a good running game. And especially if your offensive line is not blocking well, and your running back can see those holes and can't get through those holes, you're gonna have problems all season. And I think Saquon Barkley brings that to the table, that he can hit the hole, and plus he can also come out the backfield and catch the ball as well. He's a good pass catcher, so that's a strength for the Philadelphia Eagles. Their biggest concern this season is their secondary. They lost C.J. Gardner Johnson and cornerback Darius Slade, and they didn't find a replacement for him. They have Adore Jackson, and they also have Jacorin Bennett. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. Forgive me for messing up your name, but that's what they have. And also rookie Mac McWilliams, who playing in the defense. They also have a rookie safety, Andrew Makuba. They said he showed a little brightness in preseason, but he's been hampered by injuries. So then that'll be something to watch for. So their issue is going to be on defense on their corners. Because if you get them and your cornerback play is not good, you can get ran over. Not ran over, but the offense is going to be able to, the opposing offense will be able to pick you apart as a player. So you got to get better at that position. Now, quarterback stat to know. They used to have Kellen Moore last year as their offensive coordinator, and now they promoted Kevin Patula, and he was a pass game coordinator for the last 4 seasons. So for them to excel, they have to pretty much mimic what they did last year. Jalen Hurts is ranked fourth overall using the motion offense, and he's ranked fourth behind Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Brock Purdy. And all three of those guys are motion guys, motion offense guys. So their bold prediction this year, it would be their defense. The defense has to show up and has to step up for them to win games. They could probably outscore you, but their defense don't stop anybody. They're gonna have problems. So, do I predict them to go back to the Super Bowl with that strength of schedule? I don't know. It's gonna be hard, but they might be able to do it. The next team, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't even want to talk about them, but this is my sports show, and I have to talk about everybody. So I'm talking about this the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my God, I don't like them. But anyway, that's not part of it. That's not part of my get down. I talk about all teams in all places and all facets. Their biggest strengths is going to be the coach Andy Reid, as well as Patrick Mahomes, who still, until somebody knocks him off their throne, is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Their biggest concern is protecting his blind side. They got a fifth-round pick named Josh Simmons. What? No, wait a minute. He hasn't played a game. Josh Simmons, their first-round pick. I'm sorry, first-round pick. Josh Simmons, who hadn't played a game since October. He sustained a season-ending torn patella in his last year at Ohio State. So they're going to rely on him, and as well as Kingsley Sumatia, the new left guard. And he only played one game. So their concern right now is the blind side of Patrick Mahomes. And I think that was a concern last year. I haven't really looked at any, tapes or anything from last year to see that. But that's one of the biggest concerns right now. But if Patrick Mahomes, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, that's the team to beat. And Patrick Mahomes still is the guy to beat. I mean, it's a measure stick in the NFL, in the AFC, and that measuring stick is Patrick Mahomes. And for some teams, if you beat Patrick Mahomes, you feel like you're on top of the world, because I just beat the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, so we could probably go somewhere. But do I think they can make it? I don't know. Can they make it? Maybe. They got Patrick Mahomes. They got Travis Kelce. They got some, I don't know their full roster. I don't really want to look at their roster. No, I'm just playing. I should look at their roster. Let's look at their roster. Patrick Mahomes. They had Kareem Hunt. They got Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell played for the 49ers. That's how I know him. They still got Isaiah Pacheco. They got Rasheed Rice, but I think he's going to be suspended for the first 6 games for some stuff outside of football that he got in trouble for. Still got Xavier Worthy. They always got Travis Kelce. Juju Smith-Schuster will be coming back. So they got a pretty good receiving core, but how they will do, anybody guess. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The next team on my list, the Detroit Lions. Oh, my God. The thing that I say, oh, my God, about the Detroit Lions is because they were predicted to go to the Super Bowl last year. And they came up short. So what are they going to do about it? Everybody's coming back. Jared Goff is going to be there. I don't know. Their biggest strength right now is their ground attack. Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery, they call them Sonic and Knuckles. That's funny. Sonic and Knuckles. If you don't know who Sonic and Knuckles is, Sonic the Hedgehog, and his sidekick was Knuckles. So we'll see what happens with their run game. Their biggest concern is their offensive line. They lost their 4-year time Pro Bowl center to retirement, and their veteran guard. So they had to replace the center and the guard. And so when you replace a Pro Bowl center and a guard, that's an adjustment for your quarterback. That's adjustment for your line. That's adjustment for everybody. The center is like one of the key positions that you have to worry about in the NFL. And I think for them, that's going to be something to look forward to. Their bold prediction, Aiden Hutchinson is their pass rusher. I think he set out the majority of training camp or the contract dispute, but they got him signed. I don't think it was him. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Wrong team, wrong sign. But he went out last year because he broke a broken leg last year, so he should be back. So they'll see what he does next year when he comes back. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Next team on the list, Buffalo Bills. Their biggest strength, Josh Allen, Pro Bowl quarterback, MVP quarterback. But he doesn't have a clear number 1 receiver. They got Joey Bosa. How they get Joey Bosa? I'm just reading. I'm sorry. I'm just reading the thing. They got Joey Bosa. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Their concern is their defense again. Another team with a concern with defense. See, a lot of teams they rely more on the offense than the defense. So they figure, all right, we got Josh Allen, he can win some games for us. But if the defense doesn't stop anybody, Josh can only do so much. So that's going to be the biggest concern is how much can Josh do and how much will the defense help hold him up as far as that concern. I want to give a shout out to all the people that support my podcast, and also want to give a shout out to all the African American radio hosts that are out there: Stephen A. Smith, um, Freddie Coleman, Harry Douglas, there's a couple others that I can't think of at this moment. Shannon Sharp. I want to give a shout out to you guys because you guys inspired me to do this podcast, and I'm seeing you guys on the radio. I hear you guys on the radio, and I see you guys on TV, and the things you guys do inspire me to keep going with this podcast. So I just want to give a shout out to y'all real quick, especially my boys, Freddie and Harry. If you don't know them, listen to them. Freddie and Harry live on ESPN, 3:30 East, 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe, 12 o'clock Pacific, on ESPN Radio on Sirius XM. So if you get a chance, listen to Freddie Harry. They got the best. Let me say it again. They have the best radio show going on right now. I listen to them as much as I can. Sometimes I chime in, sometimes I don't, but I listen to them all the time. Um, you know, and I love it. And that's what inspired me to do this podcast, and that inspires me to keep going with this podcast. So anyway, back to that was my little quick 2 minute shout out right there. So anyway, back to what we talk about the Green Bay. The Buffalo Bills. Their chance to make the playoffs are 81%. Their chance to win the division is 66.5%. Their projected win total is 10 and a half games. Strength of schedule is ninth easiest, tied. Last year they went 13-4. So a lot of these teams they're projecting to win only like 10 games. The best teams are projected to win 10 games, and they probably doing that because they think that it's a good team. Everybody's gonna come after them, so that's why they only project them to win 10 games. I never go by projections. I just go by what I see, and probably halfway through the season, I can tell you how good they're really going to be just from the way they play. So we'll see how that goes. That was the Buffalo Bills. Next on the list, Green Bay Packers. Their chance to make a playoffs is 56%. I thought it would be higher than that because they got Micah Parsons, but that's another subject. Ooh, we should get into Micah Parsons, but we'll wait on that. Chance to win division is 29%. Projected win total is 9.2. The strength of schedule is fifth hardest, and their 2024 record was 11-6. Their biggest strength is their offense. They got the experience on offense. They got the quarterback they need in Jordan Love, and they'll see how it goes. Their biggest concerns right now it was going to be their pass rush, but now they got Micah Parsons. Boy, that was crazy. How does Micah Parsons get from Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers? And how do you trade him to somebody like the Green Bay Packers, a team that has knocked you out of the playoffs for a couple of years? Don't make sense. If I would have traded somebody like that, a pass rusher like that, of that caliber, I would have traded him to an AFC team where I won't have to see him that much. But you trade him to the Green Bay Packers, a team that you're going to be seeing, I think, the third game of the season they play. And also, if they make the playoffs, that's one of the routes. They're going to be going to Dallas or going to Green Bay. Nah, I wouldn't do that. But Jerry is Jerry, and that's a whole nother subject about Jerry and Micah. My take on that is that I think Micah was done wrong. I think Jerry could have did better, but you got to understand Jerry's mindset. Jerry is an old school owner. He doesn't believe in that new stuff, that new talking to the agent. Jerry still thinks that you talk to the player and you get the deal done, and that's it. That the agent doesn't have nothing to do with it. No, Jerry. These people that you have, that these players have, they're called agents. I don't know if you know what that word means, Jerry. They're called agents, and agents handle contract negotiations for their players. They make sure the player gets exactly what they need and exactly what they want, and they also make sure the player has the guarantees and the guarantee money and the length of time for their contract and the financial wise. how it should all play out. That's why you hire an agent, because agent, his job is to get you the right deal. And for Jerry, for him to say, I didn't see the interview what he had with Stephen A. Smith, but I think the interview is on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, go to ESPN, you can see the interview with Stephen A. Smith and Jerry Jones. But he talks about how he talked to Micah, and he thought he had a conversation. I guess he thought he was doing a negotiation, but it was a conversation. But then I guess when he started talking numbers, Micah said, "Don't talk to me anymore. Talk to my agent." What he should have did. That's what you pay agent for, to facilitate those things. But Jerry took it as, well, no. I thought, me and Micah could figure it out. We shake hands and we get the deal done, because that's the way I work things. Jerry doesn't work like that anymore. The NFL has changed, has evolved, and you need to get on a boat. My personal opinion is Jerry needs to give it up. He should be a silent owner. Jerry has too long been in the spotlight and doesn't want to be a silent owner. Silent owners win championships. Loud owners do not win. Uh, that's all it is to it. Silent owner wins championships. A loud owner doesn't, because a loud owner thinks he runs everything. So if you running everything, just like being a manager of a company, if you're always talking about it and never get credit to your people that's working, and let them have a voice, then why am I working so hard? You said you got it, so I'm just going to do my. It's not like they're not doing their job, but they won't do it to a capacity where they think they'll be recognized for it. And I think a lot of players on his team, Cowboys, are going to feel like that. Like, wait a minute. So this is how Jerry works. So what it does is it changes the culture of your division. I'm sorry, it changes the culture of your team, because now your team thinks that I can't have a say in what I need. Um, I can't have a say in what ownership. I can't have my agent talk to me because Jerry doesn't do that. It's just a whole thing that comes around the whole organization, and people may not say it publicly, but I know it's there. It's that what if factor, or what happens when my contract comes up kind of thing for any player. And for a star player, if they're looking for a new team, are you looking at the Cowboys? Not really. They said, if I got to deal with Jerry, no, because Jerry don't talk to. He's according to him, he doesn't talk to agents. He talks to players, but it doesn't work like that anymore. And so it's hard for Jerry to understand it. And I don't understand why there are not people around him to tell him, Jerry, this is not for you. Pull back, let your management, let your coaches, let your executives run the team, and you just write the checks. For a successful franchise, majority of successful franchises, that's what they do. They sit back, they write the checks, and they listen to everybody else. Jerry hasn't done that. Jerry's in the spotlight. Jerry wants to know, I run this, I do this. He wants everybody to know that. I run this, I do it. We're going to do it my way, or it's the highway. And that way, no championships. That way, no Super Bowls. That way, no rings. I don't care how big your stadium is, on how much money your team is worth. And I think they're worth like $35 billion or something like that, the Cowboys. But Jerry's never going to get to the promised land because he won't let go of the reins. He had a great coach when he first got there in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was the guy that could butt heads with Jerry and could tell Jerry, "Sound, shut up, I got this." But as soon as Jerry stepped in and said, "No, this is my team," Jimmy was like, "I'm good. Go ahead, Jerry. You got it. I'm out of here." And ever since he's gone, they've been through coach after coach after coach. And all the coaches they've hired have been coaches that don't have that, that factor that can tell the owner, back up, I got this, or take the GM, back up, I got this. Let me run a team. Let me tell you what I need on the field. And the GM and the owner goes out and gets what they need. Jerry's not that kind of owner. He doesn't say, you tell me what you need and I'll get it. He'll tell them, this is what we're going to get and you're going to make it work. So I think when they hired, who they hired, oh my God. They've been through so many coaches. I don't even want to know. But that's crazy to me how owners can do that over somebody. So now they got a new coach, Brian Schottenheimer. Hopefully he can do something better than the past coaches. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So since Jerry's been there, first he had Jimmy Johnson, and then that didn't work because they butted heads. Then he went to Chan Gailey. That didn't work. Chan Gailey was another one. Sorry, didn't work. Dave Campo didn't work. He had Jason Garrett. He had Bill Parcells. He had Barry Switzer. He had Wade Phillips. And he had Mike McCarthy last year. And none of them worked ever since Jerry been there. So I don't understand it. I don't get it. The last coach that won a championship with him, a Super Bowl with him, was Jimmy Johnson. And after Jimmy Johnson, it was Barry Switzer. Like I said, it was Barry Switzer from 94 to 97. He won a championship too. Okay. But the reason why Barry Switzer won it, here's the thing. Here's the trick. Here's the trick, guys. Listen to this. Listen closely to this. Listen closely as I tell you this. The reason why a new coach comes in after other coach gets fired, and the coach that got fired won you a championship, and this other coach comes in and wins, is because they're still, how can I say that? They're still gleaming off that last coach. So all the stuff that last coach was doing, they're still doing, and they kind of ride that wave, and it kind of rides the wave, and it kind of takes them to the Super Bowl again or to the championship again. And it's not the new coach that did it; it's the coach that was there before. It's like, I did it, I won, and y'all just riding the wave. But once that shine wears off, then you'll see if that coach is really good. Because, like I said, Barry Switzer came in there from 94, 96, won one Super Bowl, one NFC championship, NFC championships, but he made it to playoffs 3 times. And after him, it was Chan Gailey. Same thing. They made it to the playoffs. Dave Campo, I guess he was a fill-in, didn't do anything. Bill Parcells came after that. 2 playoffs bursts. After that was Wade Phillips. 2 NFC East championships, 2 playoffs. That was it. Next was Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett came in 3 NFC East championships, so not even the conference championships, just the NFC East champion 3 times, and made Coach of the Year in 2016. But that was it. And then last was Mike McCarthy. 2 NFC East championships and 3 playoffs bursts. But as you notice on that list, since Barry Switzer in 97, they have not made it back to the Super Bowl. And that's all on Jerry. You didn't have, over the past year since Jimmy Johnson left, you didn't have, let me get this right. You didn't have 8 coaches since he's been there. I'm sorry, 7 coaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, 5 coaches since Jimmy Johnson left. And out of those 5 coaches that have been there from 97 to now, to present day, you have not won a Super Bowl. And you've had the players to do it. But for some reason, Jerry wanted to be Jerry. Now, do I blame Jerry for everything? No. Because the coaches could have stepped up and said, look, Jerry, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to win. And you're going to sit down and shut up. And you're going to go sit in your box. Could they have done that? Yeah. But they were scared. I don't know. Were they scared? Or they just like, okay, whatever, Jerry. Whatever you say. As long as I get my check. My check, let me see, is it made out to cash? Okay, I'm good. But yeah, how did I get on the subject of Jerry Jones? But we was talking about Micah Parsons. That's how we got there. So that's my take of my round there. And it took me to my time for today. So that's all my time I have for today. I'm going to come back next week and go over the rest of the NFL predictions. I'm going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals next time on Ray on Sports. But that's it for this episode of Ray on Sports. This is your host, Johnny Ray. Thank you for listening to Ray on Sports. I'm available on Apple Podcasts. I'm available on Buzzsprout. I'm available on YouTube. And you can also tell your smart speaker to play Ray on Sports. Johnny Ray, Ray on Sports. Until next time, thank you for taking this ride. Take care, and God bless.